Okay, great. Let's get started. Your first task will be converting an implementation of the try data structure from Java to Python. And you'll do this one without the AI support. Your second task will be converting an implementation of the priority queue data structure from Java to Python, and you'll do that one with AI support. You can also take a short break between the two tasks since this session is 2 hours. First, let me tell you a bit more about this code translation task. The task is to produce a complete and working Python translation within 30 minutes. By complete, I mean that all the functionality and documentation from the Java code should be translated, and by working, I mean the Python code should be tested for correctness. As I mentioned earlier, there's more work to do to accomplish an absolutely perfect translation that can be done within 30 minutes. So really, I'm asking you to do as much as you can in that time, in the time that you have. But there may be trade-offs in how you spend your time, such as whether you choose to translate all the functionality first or translate a portion of it while testing it to make sure it works. How you navigate this trade-off is completely up to you. Few other things I should mention about this task. You'll be using an online version of the VS Code editor in this study, which has a few minor differences from the desktop app. In general, all of the menu commands and keystrokes are available and should just work. But please do let me know if you encounter any difficulties. I won't be able to answer any technical questions about the code or what it's supposed to do, but I can tell you that the Java implementation is correct and it works. When you make the translation, please try to preserve the name of class and method names, but we're less concerned with how you name the variables internal to the function.
Okay.
You can also use whatever resources you feel would be helpful, such as searching the web or Stack Overflow or running any code. You need to look up how to do something in Python, that kind of thing. Since we've installed Java and Python in the I'll give you a 5-minute warning when the time is almost up so you can know to start wrapping up your work. We also ask that as you work on the tasks, you think out loud. Tell us what you're thinking, what you're doing. This really helps us understand how you're approaching the task and what you're thinking about as you do it. If you're quiet, I'll remind you to keep thinking out loud. Do you have any questions before we get started?
Can you come again on this last part? You want me to say
out
what
loud.
I'm doing during?
Yeah, while you're doing it, just say, okay, now I'm translating this function. I need to look up how to do this thing in Python that's happening here in Java, that kind of thing. And just sort of keep a running commentary on your activity, which is fairly unnatural for a programmer, but it'll be really helpful to us so that we're just not seeing you going and thinking, yeah. Well, we'd like to know what you're thinking about when you're thinking that. I'm wondering about this. Okay. Are you inside the firewall? You got your VPN?
Yeah.
Okay, good, because it doesn't work otherwise. What kind of browser do you plan to use?
Firefox.
Okay. If you use Firefox, you may need to add an exception to load the page. You'll have to click advanced, click accept the risk and continue. But it should work otherwise.
Well, actually, I just have the Firefox here.
Okay, so
no problem.
People have used Firefox, but that one raises an exception when we start up, but then it should be no problem.
Okay. Do you think to download the Chrome?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Do you think it's better to download Chrome here? I can do that.
Why don't we just try using Firefox, and if it's a problem, then we can.
Okay.
You don't have Chrome on this machine, right?
I don't.
Okay, so let's try and keep it simple. If we run into trouble, we'll reconsider. Okay.
Okay.
So the main menu can be accessed from a little hamburger menu at the top. You can run Python or Java within VS Code. Interactive debugging should work, but if you have any trouble with that, you can just run the code and debug using print statements. Some people have had problems with that. Code is auto-saved, so you shouldn't need to use the save command to save the work. Please save the work anyway. I don't trust that auto-save. They need to be connected to the VPN. Okay, we get that. Okay, so let's get started here. I am going to send you a link. I'll put it in the chat here. Um, and I need you to save to share your screen. And
Okay,
okay,
it's in the system.
starting to share.
Okay.
So, want to make sure I can read what comes up on your screen. Right now, all I see is white. Well, I guess you're not there yet either. Right. There it is. Are you seeing anything but a white screen in the
No,
browser?
I want to see it's white. Yes.
Okay, but it's still transferring the data.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. It usually doesn't take this long. Maybe we're sending it really far.
So it stopped downloading different data. Let me check. There any error? Okay.
Okay. Why don't you open their task one, see if there's stuff there. Usually that comes up open. Okay. All right. Okay, so there's a Java file there
Right.
that I don't see coming up. Are you seeing it? Seems like our connection is. Okay,
Yeah.
there it is. Right.
My
Okay,
connection
that's
lost. Okay.
right. And there's a Python file as well, which is should be empty now. Okay. Right. So that's where we want you to put your solution, right? Remembering that we'd like to see documentation, same names on the methods, and good luck to you on this task. Okay. I'm gonna start the timer now, and we can begin. All right.
Okay. Right.
Here we go. All right. Timer's running. And remember to think out loud for me, please.
Okay. Mm. Yeah, it's a long time since I don't program in Python. So what I'm doing here, I'm trying to understand how the tree node works. I don't
Mhm.
remember the kind of object algorithm, and also I'm trying to remember Python works with uh, OO as well, object-oriented programming, OOP. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
So,
that's the kind of thing if you wanted to do bring up a browser and do a query, that's fine.
good. So can I also search for a referencing reference image for uh, what a tree object is? I just have this code to.
Yeah, better if you're not looking for other implementations.
Oh, no, not a problem.
Right. Or if we want a translation, not a re-implementation. Maybe understand what I'm saying. All right. So I didn't catch what you looked up. It was how to define a class in Python.
Sorry.
You were looking up how to define a class in Python, is that?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's fine. A lot of people have looked that
yeah.
up. Yeah,
I just use Python for scripting, so
yeah, sure. That's fine.
they use picture. Okay, so I think get started right now. So first, I'm trying to convert this tree node here to a class inside the Python. To work. Finally. Okay, so I think the main structure of the code is ready to use. The the management methods here are actually the start, find, and so on. So Yeah, I'm just learning Python again. Oh, there's a 4 here. Okay. Well, I think the search is done. Let's check fine. What did I
5 minute warning.
Sorry.
5 minute warning.
Okay. It seems that I don't remember how to use a for in Python, so going to the next method, delete.
Okay. That's time. Right. If you could you know, file save or come from the either Command S or from the hamburger menu over on the left-hand side, that'd be great. There we go. Good. That was great. You know, we get folks at all different levels of Python, you know, skill and experience. And you know, it was really interesting watching you, you know, say, okay, I need to know how to do a Python class or a Python for loop or whatever, and you look it up, you ingest it, and then you like, you know, you were very consistent in like taking that knowledge that you picked up and using it throughout. So that was terrific. I'm going to give you another link. This is the link to the survey where you can reflect on how you just did and what you just did. This survey is kind of on the shorter side. The survey with the AI help is a bit longer because we ask a bunch of questions related to the AI support that you don't have to worry about at this time. Okay, you are P31.
Condition no AI
Yeah,
free.
right. Um, I'd ask that as you go through the questions that you continue to think out loud about, you know, when you're a lot of them are, you know, grade something on a scale, you know, 1 to 20 or something like that. As you're thinking about it, just, you know,
Mhm.
give us a reason why you're picking the values that you're picking. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Thanks.
I'll try my best. Okay, how mentally demanding was this task? Well, I didn't know much about the tree algorithm, and also uh, I it seems that I didn't know much about Python, so it was kind of demanding. Maybe 18,
It's fine.
yeah. And someone watching me searching for answers was I don't know spread word how earlier or rushed was the piece of task, how successful were you, what were asked to do. Maybe a free. How hard did you have to work to accomplish your task? Hard did you have to work your level of I don't know much about this one. I think I could do better, but
This is about how much effort it was on your part. You know, like
yeah,
yeah, how
thinking
difficult,
about
how much effort you were putting in. You know, was it a breeze or was it, you know, taxing?
well, I think it's a 18 again because yeah, I think it's a 18. How insecure, discouraged, irritated, stressed, and I'm not annoyed. Were you? It's a huge 20. Yeah.
Oh, we pegged this. Sorry about that.
No, no problem. I'm an anxious person, so yeah, it was a big old 20. Please describe your approach and how you work at this test, how you allocate your time. So, whoops, first of all, yeah, May I check on code again to get some reference?
Mhm.
There was here.
Yeah.
Search. The function search. Why? I don't remember the word when method calls it itself.
Recursive? Is that what you're looking for?
Recursion. How recursion works. Due to my studying during the college, Java basics era. Next. Okay, here. Well, I don't have any other feedback here.
That's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
All right. Super. Um, you want to take a brief break before we start the next one? You want to take 5 minutes?
no, not
No?
necessary.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so next task, task 2. And final task. That went pretty fast for me. I don't know how it was for you. I think it probably dragged a little bit more for you than it did for me. But
Well,
I'm taking notes
time
like,
depends on the spectator, right?
yeah, I'm just taking notes on a minute by minute basis. That's the typing here. I'm just trying to capture what you're doing at each point. And, we're going to analyze that stuff later. And particularly to see how it differs. Okay, in this task, you're going to translate the priority queue data structure from Java to Python with the help of an AI code translation system. This system is able to automatically translate code from Java to Python, but it's not a perfect system. So the translated code may contain errors in it. We use the system ahead of time to create 5 separate Python translations for you. So these are 5 different attempts on the part of the translator to translate this code, which you'll see when you open the editor. How you use these translations to help you complete the task is entirely up to you. So again, you'll put your solution in the priority queue.py file, and I will give you a link to open. Why don't you, if the old one is still open, why don't you close that one now?
Okay.
And here's the priority queue. I'll get that open. Presumably that'll take your system a little time. It seemed like even though it was slow to open last time. Oh, okay. It's not slow this time.
Yeah.
All right. So you've got your Java file, the priority queue file for your solution is the next one, and then there's 5 translations, 5 AI produced translations, and you can do whatever you want with those. You can just like use them for reference, or you can copy and paste from one or more of them to into your solution and work with them.
Got
Right?
it. So
Good.
it's the same activity, but I have reference material right now.
Right. Right. Yeah. We're still trying to create the translation. with documentation and the variables and the function names the same as the Java. And you can use those translations to help you in the test as you like. And I will start the timer now. All right.
Okay.
Timer started. Okay. Here we go.
Okay, so we have a array list here where we are going to insert it to the front as I can see. And when we remove an element from it, it will be based on a comparator output. So I'll try, as I only have 30 minutes, I'll try to implement the getters and setters and the easier methods first. Then I'll go to the inserts. So okay, so first things first, let's copy the priority field and the constructor. The size well, the size was a surprise. I thought it would generate a single implementation. So the first one was the simpler. Let's get this one. The peak, just to for the peak, get 0. I don't remember if the default will remove the element from an array, so Python pop. The method removes returns, also removes from the list. So this method is wrong on the first implementation. Turn the next element to the without removing it from the priority field. So it should not remove the pick. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is right. Or this is right as well. Much more sophisticated. And this is wrong. Without removing it. Okay. Next, we have exempt, keep empty, is empty, is empty. Um, I don't know if the dictionary from Python has this. It has the empty method, so let me check it here. Empty. I think it doesn't have the list. Okay, remove, clear. It's count, not empty. So this is the only one that seems to be right. Good. Let's enumerate provided in order. Mhm. Well, the enumerate depends on remove, so I'm gonna jump this one for a while. I'm gonna skip this one for a while. At all. There's a for with insert, which depends again on another one. Okay, let's go back to the insert. The insert index. Okay.
Are you trying to understand the Java version now? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm trying to understand how the insert is organized, the elements.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You were getting quiet. I couldn't see what you were doing. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, I'm trying to
No, that's
understand how
okay. I'll remind you if it's necessary.
okay. Yeah, well, as I could see, they tend to be inserted depends on the comparator implemented on the Java object, which we don't have in
Right.
Python. So how can I check this? Have a simple comparison here. So to have another simple comparison again, again, and again. So, well, as I could determine how the comparator would be implemented in Python, so I'm gonna check if the calculations here are the same. Check the insert from Python have the same functionality. So index equals self.heap. Okay, self.heap. Okay, index. Okay, yeah. Okay. There's no buffer here. It seems to be working good. Okay, so the first one seems to be the correct one, the most correct one, but this is wrong. The variable names follow the Python convention, so okay, it's good. About the comparison here, it's what I have compare. So it's right, 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 right. Less than, yeah. The only weird stuff here was the division with two bars, so I just needed to correct this one. Okay. Next, we have remove. For remove, let's check. Zero. Okay, got it. So it will remove the first item on the list by sending it to the last index and removing that index. Okay. Let's check remove. remove. Then the Python copy will remove the thing. The default index is -1. Index of the last item. Okay, so the pop will remove the last item. It's right. Self by return element. Return none. Okay. Index of the length -1. Okay. Element got it. Mhm. What I don't know here is if I change the value of the index, it will be replacing the first index or the first item on the array. Yeah, remove the first. So Python move item to first. Basically search. No. This is wrong. Wrong. So I'm not much confident in this implementation, so I'm gonna copy this one and change this line here. Self.insert Python array. Yeah. So insert 0 and self.if index. Good. I don't need this. I don't know why it's not giving 0 as parameter, so I'm gonna change this and I'm gonna add a self because it will require a self here. Okay, so remove this, right? Size, right, peak is empty, enumerate. Size, peak, enumerate. About the enumeration. Okay. So we're gonna reorganize the list to retrieve it to user. This one was impressive for AI. Those that were copying the heap to another slot of memory. Awesome. Great. Deep copy. Let's check what this does. Python. Copy. Copy.deep copy. Shallow. Also good. Copy deep copy. Results. While not. I don't know if this works.
What you thinking about now?
Yeah, I think what this statement here is doing
Ah, okay.
seems to be right. Right. Has the same implementation, just the copy changes here as well, but it has the empty that doesn't exist, I think, as it seems. Well, so I'm gonna use this one. I'm gonna change this to check the length of the array. Oops. Save it. Okay. Self remove. Okay. Let's go to add all. Add all. For animation collection. Okay. Okay. For item collection. Same old thing. So this one ready already. And heap file. Well, the AI comes with two solutions here, and only changes the variable name for this one. This one is exactly the same. So
That's
maybe
5 minutes.
okay. So maybe this is the one that is right, but I have only 5 minutes. So let's check this one. Have the proper Python naming. Let's remove this size. Okay. Okay. Parent. It dot get. Okay. Max index 12. Post index. Okay. And we have three ifs. Statement one and compare to, yeah. Okay. If so, okay. Yeah. Again, not bottom. But the hitify doesn't need the is underscore side side. I need to add the cell here again. Oh yeah, I think it's good. Let's check. Complete crew. Have the init here. Insert. Insert. Remove. Size. Pick. Then print. Enumerate. That all and five. That all. Oh yeah. And this one is private. Oh, okay, got it. Private. Okay, finish it.
Okay. You still have a minute left if there's anything else you want to do, like copy documentation or anything like that.
Oh, should my code be documented? I don't remember
It's okay.
that. Actually, I removed all the documentation.
Yeah, I saw you doing that. Yeah, a lot of people skip the documentation part, trying to get the code working or whatever.
Oh, sorry about that.
Oh, there's no apology necessary. Yeah, you said there's only 30 seconds left. We could just stop if that's what you want to do. Um, yeah, that was great. Um, very interesting watching you work. I okay. I have another survey for you to do. If you could save that file, because we're definitely going to want to look at that again. will get the survey. Oh, now you found it.
Okay.
Okay, so first, okay, so there's going to be two more surveys. One is about this task, and one is sort of compare and contrast. Okay.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, this
So here's the first survey.
P31, right?
31. Yes.
31, agree. How mentally demanding task? Well, I was not as anxious as the first one, but I need to review some code from the AI, so I think 17. All area should, I don't know, it was so rushed, so maybe a 10. How successful were you in accomplishing it? Mm, I'm not I'm not confident in that solution. I didn't test it, so maybe a 10. How hard did you have to work? Uh, 12, 13, something like that. How insecure the organization invested on annoyed? Not annoyed at all. Maybe a 5.
That's an
Yeah,
improvement over last time.
yeah, huge improvement. Please describe your overall approach. It's between AI solutions. Tested, overrated, were right. Well, I hope my grammar is not a
Oh,
good deal.
don't worry about that at all. No problem.
How about translations? Good. Why? Most. A little. That's beautiful. Easier, faster, faster quality. Well, I'm not sure about that. I should have read the comments that AI provided me. The comment was generated by the AI as well, right? I didn't read the one. So I don't have any more feedback on this topic
Okay.
or following work conditions. Topic thing. Normal work conditions. Very helpful. Very helpful. Work alone. Extremely helpful. Very helpful. Mm, and work extremely for profile coach. Extremely helpful. Coach. Good application. Quick application. Mm, Under high performance is important about the performance. I don't think so. When there's a large group. The AI is trained with codes from other developers, right?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
The AI is trained with code from other applications from other.
I'm sorry, I'm not. It's coming through a little garbled. That I can't quite make out what you're saying. Yeah,
Oh,
the AI. I got
is
that.
the AI trained by code from other developers or other implementations?
It's been trained on several different programming languages. Lots of examples of code from different programming languages: C++, Java, Python.
Got it. So there's not only a focus for performance or a focus for quality. There's a bunch of code that's inputted, and you don't how can I say it? You don't categorize it by tagging as a performance code or is a worse quality code.
Oh, I see what you're asking. Um, no, I the code it's been trained on has been curated. So like that you might pick like a large selection of highly rated solutions to problems like encoding competitions and things like that.
Got
But
it.
I don't think it's characterized to say, oh, this one is more efficient, this one is less efficient,
Mhm.
in time or memory or whatever. I don't think at this point that the AI understands those distinctions.
Oh, got it. So for this question, when the code runtime performance is important, if there's some kind of categorization uh, during the training, I think it would be extremely appropriate. But if the code is fed in, into the algorithm without any categorization, maybe this code
Okay.
runtime performance would be less appropriate.
Right.
It's
Okay.
just a comment.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's perfectly reasonable. Yeah.
Extremely when the original code is created. Extremely appropriate. Code needs to understand again unfamiliar. Extremely.
To say you think it helps either if you're coming from something that you don't understand that very well, or if you're moving it to something that you don't understand very well. Either one
Yeah,
of those translations
either one. Either
seems
one
to
of
be
them. Python is, I think Python is easier to understand. So if I don't understand how uh, an internal method of, for example, the compare to, if I don't understand how compare to works and I check on the translated language, it helped me a lot.
Mhm.
It,
Okay.
it helped a lot. Oh, I don't have further feedbacks again. Okay.
All right, one more. We're on the home stretch.
Okay, no problem.
There you go. P31.
I just read about the Mayflower boat that IBM is developing in the Europe. Did you heard about it?
My son just sent me a link about this autonomous boat that's going to cross the ocean.
Yeah, yeah, this one. And since read this article, I just thinking uh, about this when thinking about AI. You know, I don't I don't even know how other kinds of AI could help me working with code right now. So
Okay.
maybe driving a boat. Well, I'm gonna skip this one too.
Okay. Oh, on that code translation work that you did, was that back end or front end primarily, or was it both?
It was both.
Yeah, so you've modernized the whole old web application to a new web application.
Yeah, actually, I don't think it's a code translation, right? It's refactoring.
Yeah, well, the
Yeah.
translation, you you're looking at the old code, or were you just like re-implementing the whole system?
No, we implemented the whole system.
I see.
Yeah, it's not a code translation. You're right.
No,
So
that's okay.
yeah,
We're real interested in that modernization aspect. We're thinking about, what people have to do to take old applications and sort of bring them up. That's a big area for IBM, obviously. To move things to the cloud and
so talking
take
about it.
old programs and make them Java programs and things like that. How to give you an idea.
The that's a huge activity. So
Yeah, there's actually a big project about that going
it
on.
is the couple microservices and
Yeah.
maybe from data from relational. Let's see.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
This is the hardest part of my work.
Filling out filling out surveys
Yeah,
or
the
or taking databases and converting them and stuff like
oh,
that.
and trying to organize relational things into NoSQL. Right.
Uh-huh.
Or
Oh, interesting. Yeah,
engineer NoSQL database. I don't. I'm not an expert on this one.
gotcha.
For this one.
Okay, so you've done all the surveys. If you want, I can tell you a little bit more about our study and the project and what we're working on. But if you don't want to hear it, if you've had enough, we can just stop now.
Yeah, I would love to hear more about.
Okay. So there are a lot of AI models that are being developed for code now, to like do translations, like we were just looking at, generate documentation, even convert natural language to code. So you kind of describe what you want and it tries to implement it. But there hasn't been a lot of work to evaluate whether these models are actually useful for software engineers or whether software engineers would use them. So one of the things we were wondering is, given that translation is imperfect, would software engineers be willing to even use it? Most of our tools, they just work, right? You don't worry about a compiler generating incorrect machine code most of the time, maybe occasionally. But when something goes wrong, that's not the first thing you think, right? You think, what did I do wrong? Now, what did the compiler do wrong? So, we're curious, like, okay, so if we had something that could do a decent job of translation, but not a perfect job of translation, would that be a useful tool and would be accepted? And that's sort of what we've been looking into. The translations that you looked at were actually generated by a system, a real AI system that Facebook developed, that they open source, and we used it to generate those translations. Uh, I I made a few adjustments before presenting them to you, but but the one of the interesting things about that code is that system is in the paper that they described it. They showed that on the test cases they gave it got 68.7% of the problems correct. If by correct you mean that one of the 25 translations it generated passed the test. And so we were thinking, okay, well, that's great, except if I hand somebody 25 translations and say one of these might be right, um, you know, how useful is that? And so, we didn't want to, burden you with 25 of them, but we gave you five. And I was really interested in the way that you handled that. The way you would take each function and sort of align them and then flip between them so you could see what changed. That that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. I've actually worked on a technique where I take all the different versions and I kind of diff them all against each other and then present you with
Mhm.
one version that highlights the areas where there are differences. And then you can sort of click on that area and see what the differences are right there. So in this region, sometimes it's just the system couldn't decide whether to use camel case or snake case, right? They use different variable names for things. And sometimes it's more serious, as you found, like it did a pop versus something else. Um, it consider different ways of implementing something. And if you just look at that, which is kind of what you were doing, I think, with your
Yeah.
multi-tab solution, that maybe that's a good way to feed it to the human beings to make decisions about which translation to use in which place. So that's what we're working on. So we're building a VS Code plugin that will connect to the translator and present information to the user in that way. And also do things like if you hover over something in the translation, it'll highlight the corresponding thing in the source, or vice versa. To help you draw the correspondences between them. Because I did see you doing some of that back and forth, like looking at the Java code and the Python implementation and saying, okay, does this match up right? So there's a lot of, I've seen people do this, with actually putting their hands on the screen and trying to follow along on both sides. Um, so we're trying to like support that by actually figuring out using the information that the system has generated about what the correspondences are, kind of digging into its internals and finding the matches across. So that's what we've been working on, and we're doing the study now. Um, you are the last of the of the participants. This is it.
Really?
I'm done. And now we have to analyze all this data we have, and you know presumably we'll write a paper about it. Once we have answers. Um,
Yeah. We'll send the paper to the participants when it's done, because I think this is an awesome work, an awesome way how the AI is going to be implemented on development. The code that the AI generated was awesome. I don't have other words to describe that. I think this program, this project is really interesting, and I want to know more about how you did that, how you collected the participants to work, how the methodology that you have used to verify this work. So
yeah.
if this paper becomes public, I would like to read it.
Okay. I'll try to make sure that we send you a link when when the
Thank you
time
so much.
comes. Yeah. Okay. And we've recorded that right here that you made that request. We're also going to send you 250 blue points as a token of our appreciation for your participation, because it's a lot to ask for 2 hours, and I think the information we're going to get from your session is going to be really helpful in doing the analysis. So thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
All right, so um, we finished with 5 minutes to spare, and that's impressive too. Maybe it's because you didn't take that 5 minute break. We had this down to a
Yeah,
science.
you're right. You're right.
Um,
So we can go 5 minutes early now.
all right. You've earned it. Thanks very much. Stay safe. Take care. And thanks again.
Thank you for the opportunity, and was really nice to know you and your work.
Thank you. Take
Thank
care.
you. Have a
Bye.
great day. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.